Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to Anno 1800. Now the journey to deliver every good to every tier of resident, including their lifestyle, continues. And today we're still focused on the scholars, of which we've just seen their populations swell and reach new milestones for research. Today we're going to be focusing on keeping the scholars happy and making sure Mbesa can deliver everything they need. So their regular needs seem to be pretty much satiated, but their happiness has been fluctuating a little bit from time to time. Tapestries actually just recently went kind of down and up, so seems to be all good now. But obviously we'll check the production screen, go through everything, make sure everything is sorted out from top to bottom. Lifestyle needs, they're looking pretty good. They just need scooters, so we'll try to get to that in this episode too. Then there's the two unique types of mail, Arctic reports and New World reports, that we can begin to kind of have a look into as well. I'll probably have to do that after this episode just to double check how everything works. It's pretty cool. We can see all the scholars coming out of their area, heading over to the hospital, our student hospital that we set up across the way from the universities. It's pretty cool. Love it. So let's get into things. In between episodes, I've sorted out the citrus deliveries. It might still fluctuate a little bit, right? So citrus was something I was short on for a while, which meant that our population of tourists were kind of falling. It's kind of come back up now, but I'm just going to leave this where it is for a little while until we increase it further. But basically, yeah, we've got 61. So I could just talk through very quickly how I've done citrus, because it's kind of interesting. It's a little different. On the island here of Quintessence, which we focused on in the last episode, I built out a bunch of orchards, and it looks like they're actually full now. Yeah, so this is going to be part of the problem, but I
feel it reflects the times.
Okay, go on then. Ceramics crash causes concern. Well, that's actually something we're going to be focused on, so that's interesting. But don't worry about that.
Is everyone really as happy as you say?
They are as happy. Don't question it. Or just drop more propaganda like you've been doing before. Or happiness care packages, whatever they are. So, we set up this island, making extra citrus, and globally, if we have a look at citrus, you know, I think we're making more than enough. 91 over 81. Some of it's paused, though, of course, because this island is full. So let's have a look at the trade route. So, we'll type citrus. In the New World, I've got a really peculiar route going on here that maybe needs a third ship, thinking about it. Yeah. So, what's going on here, just to be very, very quick in explaining it, effectively, the island of Marbella, this one down here, in the center, produces a lot of citrus. Now, arguably, this other island that we've just set up probably produces just as much. So, what I wanted to do was create a trade route that actually went to this island twice, and then the other two once each. So, it goes to Marbella, it goes back to Manola. It goes to Marbella, goes back to Manola. And then it goes out to the kind of islands on the wings. Because it was previously just hitting all three, and what was happening was the ships are just getting backed up. It felt like you needed more ships, at least 4 probably, to do it. And this way it seemed to be like, okay, just visit the islands that are busiest more than the one that is less busy. I think I'd probably have to put this one on a second time, because it seems to be very busy, basically. So let's try that. Maybe this is overcomplicating it, possibly. If you've watched this far, you know I tend to do these things, but I'm going to just wager that this is going to work. And instead of this one, we'll bring Estepona down. We'll bring Manola back down. And there we go. Okay, so now we're visiting Quintessence twice, Marbella twice, and Estepona once. So we've got 2 ships doing it. And we've got items on those ships to make them move really quickly. So hopefully that just stops them getting full and not being able to produce anything for a while. I mean, if a ship is visiting here twice in quick succession, they can, in theory, pick up around 1,000 to 1,200 storage. I think the storage max here is something like 700, right? So let's just build a few more of these. And now we're at 875. Okay, let's just build a couple more. That's 975. So we'll leave it at that. That should be enough to kind of save up and have 3 full ships worth. And then by the time they go back and forth, some stuff will be made as well. There's also 4 piers on this side now because it's just closer to where Manola is in the distance. So that's basically everything that's kind of happened in between episodes. Haven't really done much else. So let's get into things. Population's just fallen by 8,000, so not sure what's just happened. Something's gone missing though for sure. Let's just quickly have a look. Are you guys missing anything? No. Surprisingly, no. You're missing gramophones, actually. And then for the
my own dabbling in journalism, audacious, free, and scandalous.
Perfume. See, I don't really want to move on, keep moving on if there's little issues lagging behind all the time. So let's just check. What's perfume doing right now? This is... Let's go to the old world. It's getting distributed slowly. And if we just check statistics, again, sometimes maybe they're stopping because of... It could be, for instance, citrus ran out for a while. Could be the case. Or whatever they needed. Coconut oil, ethanol, orchid. I'm guessing coconut oil ran out. It looks like it may have. Coconut oil is producing correctly, but it's paused in Puerto Banús. Now, why would that be? Are we picking it up in Puerto Banús? Let's go coconut oil. So, delivery of coconut oil. Ah, well, there's your issue. We're not picking it up. We're not picking it up. That's the issue. Oh, wait, no, it isn't. We are. We do go to Puerto Banús and pick it up. We're also picking it up from Guadalmina. One ship doing this just isn't simply going to be enough, I think, for what it's doing. So, we'll need another ship on this. Hitting 2 islands that are producing quite a lot is just going to be a little too much. Alright, so that should keep the volume of coconut oil moving in. What are you guys supposed to be doing? Ethanol. That's an issue for another time. Alright, so back we go. Let's just focus on the scholars like we said. Okay, so they seem good for here. Oh, very last thing to mention actually, sorry. Very last thing is that in Docklands, I've now got... I'm trading advanced weapons for canned food. So previously it was either iron, I think, or, you know, steel or gold, I think I might have been doing. Something like that. Something unusual anyway. Or, sorry, something I usually trade. Now I'm doing something unusual, which is trading advanced weapons. This actually came from a comment in the previous episode saying, why don't, you know, you're after putting in items into your harbors to get passive trade on advanced weapons. So, let's have a look. We've got the Savvy Customs Officer, chance to gain 5-ton weapons, dynamite, advanced weapons, or sales. Just bear with me 1 second. I just can't stand that music. I like it, but it's just so obtrusive. So I just got to switch and then switch back because you can't change the song. That's better. Okay, good. So, we get that passive trade. That's all well and good. But we've actually got another item that does really great for us, which is Bruno Ironbright, the engineering giant. He also generates every 3 cycles for all of these buildings advanced weapons. Now, obviously, if the building is full, such as this one, it's not generating any. But it's still, roughly speaking, is making, I think, something like 28 tons per minute. Just on this island alone. I'm not sure it actually shows us the passive trade thing, because it seems to be so RNG based that it doesn't really seem to count. Because this is saying that it comes from the bicycle and sewing machine factories. So we're getting 18 tons per minute, but when sewing is being delivered somewhere else, then we're making 28, as long as the factories are running. And you could always have a ship pick up something like sewing machines and sell it if you want to just really keep your product moving, or tell it to throw overboard or something like that if you want to be a little wasteful. Selling it, I think, is probably just a bit better because you can control the volume that gets sold. Anyway, anything else? I think that's pretty much it. So I just wanted to mention that. And then the very last thing was a couple of people had mentioned over time about my sugar factory setup here. And they were saying, oh, your sugar factories aren't actually getting use of the items in the trade union. That's not true. They are. For once, I'm right, but only barely. It might not be a good ideal setup, but they are actually getting a bonus to stuff. The way you can tell that is simply that they're highlighted. If I put a building in here that was within the radius but wasn't making use of the items, it would have a blue outline, but it wouldn't be very vibrant. It'd be really faded, and you'd definitely notice it. You'd be like, oh, these ones are clearly not highlighted, but they're in the radius. Anyway, the item is this. It's the Elmer's Electric Oven. All food production 40%. So we have Generaro Garibaldi. He affects Chocolate Factory, Fried Plantain, and Ice Cream Factory, and so does this guy, Fried Plantain, and... oh, it's just Fried Plantains for him, sorry. And then this one is all food production. And sugar is a food. So it's refined from sugar cane. This is an agricultural product. This is an intermediate food product. So sugar does get its benefit. You can see the item right there. So the workforce is being reduced and the productivity 40%. And there's a lot of them being affected. So it's definitely, you know, worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there's 16 sugar factories. This one obviously didn't make the cut. It's just outside. So what was that, 15 or so are getting a 40% bonus. It's obviously paying off. It's like, that's a pretty good amount, and it's saving a lot of workers because it's 37 on these ones, whereas it's 50 on these. So whatever, it saves on 13 workers per building, and there's 14 or 15 of them, so 13 times 15, that's how much we're saving. So it's definitely helpful, but it's not like a perfect optimal setup or anything. But I've noticed a few people mention it, and there was a particularly long comment in the last episode, which I did respond to. So I just wanted to address that, basically, that it is working. Right. Now, now that all the housekeeping is done, we can get back to the game. So happiness. Rum is an interesting issue. Let's go with gramophones and see what's going on. Well, first of all, well, hang on. I don't think I'm trading it at all. That could be like cigars. In the previous episode, we looked at cigars and I realized, hey, I'm not actually trading this. So it might be one of these old routes I deleted and forgot to re-up. So old worlds. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. So what I'm curious is, could I add something else on? Let's just get rid of this. I'd have to find something such as this. Okay, well, here's what we'll do. We'll do it correctly, or try to. So, gramophones, as a consumable, it's required 7 tons per minute. And then if we just look at all of the swords consumables, if we find anything else that's 7, you could then say, oh, like, it could go on a mezcal ship or an ice cream ship, because they all have roughly the same amount. So let's have a look at ice cream and mezcal. So these are doing 3 each. Now it's only 7, so I feel like this ship doesn't need to do that. Let's take 2 of these off. It's also going to rush. I don't know if gramophones need to go there, actually. But let's just try it anyway. Actually, yeah, now I'm getting a little worried. Because if it's going to... Does gramophones get consumed by tourists or anything?
I'm not going to spend half my time here just getting to
It does, actually. So this would work then. Okay, fair enough. If it's going to go to the 3 islands, then that's fine. So I'll just check again, just to be doubly sure. We'll go to La Ruche and swords this time. Scroll down. Ice cream is now at 8. Mezcal is still at 7. And then the gramophones is still at 7. Okay, so yeah, it's an even amount. It's a nice number to put on these ships then. Just hit pause on that for a second. And we'll just put in gramophones. Yeah, I guess I just didn't have a route for it or something. Alright, good. So, accept and... Let's go back in and hit play. Alrighty, there we go. 1 route done. So we'll just check that gramophones, enough of them are being made. I'm confident they are. Yeah, we've loads. We actually have so many we can trade them away, which I sometimes do. So we get them passively in different buildings, but we also make them as well, I think. Alright, so that's one thing sorted. So that should make the tourists a little happier and also give us more. I guess we just ran out of it recently because in the previous episode that would have been a full bar. And I just forgot that we're not actually delivering them. For these guys, we don't get scholars, we just get happiness and more research. So that's something. So, next up would be... I saw tapestries fluctuating, so I'd like to see why that is. Let's go tapestries. We can go to production over time, and we can see, if we click this, that it's actually been pretty consistent, but it's been consistently below the consumption line, when it could be potentially above it. It could go up to 23. It looks like it's been hovering at 18. Yeah, 18, and then it dipped. So that's obviously because of maybe linen or something that's dipping, or maybe the indigo. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. I've never used the screen that way before, but it's kind of cool to see it being used to its full potential. So we set up all of this tapestry industry down here, which is clearly enough, but it must not be getting enough of whatever it needs, right? So indigo and linen are actually there and just fine. That's strange then, isn't it? So you're stopped because there isn't enough storage. Alright. Oh, it's a good problem to have. It's an easy one to fix. So that should help them out. Let's move this up a bit. So just max those guys out and just bring this down to here. Alright, big warehouses.
Shift the load bearers to that side. Ah, crap.
So hopefully that just keeps the ball Why do I keep saying the ball rolling? I don't know why I keep saying that. It's like my new phrase. But yeah, hopefully that just keeps everything moving. Because it just seems to be a traffic issue. Like, loading and unloading was taking too long. Like, they are missing goods. We have 600 on the island. And they have 650 on the island. But we're just obviously not delivering it quick enough. So as long as this keeps at full capacity, we should be okay. And the trade route's already sort of like set up and delivering everything and all that. But let's just check. So how are we then for linen? Yeah, apparently okay. Obviously it might be stopping a little bit, and then indigo. And that's okay too, because we did set that up on the island Indiegogo, I think, before.
There's tea by the door if you want it.
Tea by the door. Yeah, we built this farm out, I remember. Now they're not getting fertilizer. I've also... I don't know if I did this in between episodes or not, but I wanted to fix fertilizer or build more of it. Did I do that? Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah, so we've got one fertilizer works here. I'm just going to build a couple more of these. Because we could be making a lot more. We need to make more. Alright, that should be fine for fertilizer. We've got loads of dung. I remember checking that, but I just forgot to actually put these down. They only take 30 yuan liros, so it's not too bad. And if we just have a look now, globally, fertilizer. Boom, we're up to 21/18. It was a little less than that. So 0 on Manola. Guadalmina is at 47, so something's slowing down here. Possibly not enough dung for the amount of fertilizer works. Could that be the case? So we've got 5 of them. Yeah, there's slightly not enough dung. And dung is just collected by the fertilizers, so... whatever, I guess. You could maybe turn off one of these and it would probably just balance itself out, would it? Dung? Now we produce more than we consume. I'd rather try to consume more than I produce if I can.
I'll leave my coffee.
So I'm okay with leaving that on. So every now and then they're gonna... one of them is gonna pause and stop and everything, but that's okay. Because globally we're going to be making 25, maybe we'll make 23, 20, yeah, see, 23. So that's still okay, it's still more than we need. So now it's at 21, that might fall, as long as it doesn't fall below 18, it's okay. Alright, anyways, that's another one done, basically. So we'll head back. What's next? So that should see us delivering tapestries and gramophones. And that should be all good. Gramophones seem to have arrived back already, so that's nice. Next up would be rum. There's some issue with rum. I've started making as well... I don't know if we can see them. Are they here? Yeah. I've started making Great Eastern ships. I never made any before. I think I've only ever made one. And I just didn't notice that they're right here, that we can just make them. So, something like rum is so high volume, I feel like it'd be fun to put it on like a Great Eastern or something. But we don't have to do that right now. It's just food for thought, really. But yeah, it seems like the rum has run dry for some reason. Are we not making enough anymore? Oh, we're making a lot. We're making a hell of a lot. So why has this happened? Marbella makes a bunch, Manola makes some, Crown Farms makes a lot. Very strange. So a multi-regional specialty ship called Rum is actually... something that says it'll wait for goods. It's going to pick up rum, deliver it to Lusk, and deliver it to Manola. This doesn't seem right. Let me just check this one more time. Sorry. Not Manola, rum. So let me just take a note of where these are made. So Marbella. So Manola makes some itself as a byproduct out of the ice cream factory. The fried plantain kitchen in Marbella. Crown Farms, so CF is obviously the other one. So basically, it's made entirely in Crown Farms, Marbella, and Manola. So that's where we gotta be picking them up from. So if we have a look at the route in the New World, oh, it's one of these messy ass routes. So it's actually delivering its rum to Quintasenk now, because that's part of the happiness for those guys. Well, all the islands actually have some on it. There is only one ship doing it though, and it's about to make another pickup. Okay. What else then? So Old World has a rum supply. Same sort of situation. I don't know why I've done it like this. Well, I kind of remember. I think in order to get things, just to take away the minimum and give every island something quickly, rather than manifold and wait for everything to fill up, you can unload and then load. And as long as you set a reserve, you won't take away more than what's you want to leave them. So I guess I can leave that. It's fine, I suppose. So I'm just confused then. What do I do to fix this? We're picking it up at Crown Farms. We're dropping it to Lusk. And then we're trying to drop it to Manola. But obviously we're never really dropping it. Or we're going on to Manola with nothing. And it seems like Crown Farms has too much. You know what? We'll put the other Great Eastern on this. Why not? Now you come here. I'm going to give you an item. Make you a bit faster. Or see what we can give you, I guess. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So movement speed 25%, cargo slowdown negative 100. Boom. Movement speed 15%. Oh, what just happened? It got moved out of the way there. So yeah, this will be loading speed 75%. That'd be nice as well. And loading speed a further 45. Dare I? So it's very fast loading. Alright, off you go. Godspeed. So that's 2 Great Easterns on the rum route.
Sweetest fluorescent fairy. Sugar sweet Mary.
I noticed something back there. What's wrong with these? You're out of grain. Oh my god. It looks like we don't pull it in anywhere. Maybe it's not even ever delivered. Is it not grain? Nope. There's no route in the entire game doing grain. Wow. I mean, this is a total waste of a dockland slot. I'm going to use it anyway, just for the moment. If I need to remove it, then I'll decide to put a ship on it. But let's get some grain there. What's the required amount here? It's 3 tons per minute. So we're looking at maybe 80 should cover it. Can I not search on the left side? I guess not. Thought you could. I think that's good. Let's just set it to a nice even 100. Okay. Now when we trade enough of this, we can actually start getting some more bang for our buck. Pretty soon. It's 1 trade away from getting the next tier. Alright, good. So the next up is hibiscus tea and then clay pipes. Alright, so hibiscus tea. Let's go down to Mbesa. See what's going on. Hibiscus tea. So the tea is at 25/15. Seems extreme. All made at Tabarim. And it's all made in a tea spicer. So it's all made in the one type of building. So why am I making so much? Oh. There's quite a lot over there. So let's just try pause a few of these. Just out of curiosity. Save some of the workforce and stuff there for a moment. So how much are we on now? Hibiscus tea. So now the tea is at 18/15. So that's still more than enough. Now we can sort out the petals. It's just on the border of 22 for 22. So that's fine. I'd say just leave that then. Totally fine by me. Petals are full. Tea is full. There's tea by the door.
Who's a good girl, Daggy? You are.
There's oh, hang on a sec. It's screwing with me. We've got 40 seconds left before this festival's over because we're getting a free... We're doubling productivity here, so it's all confusing me. So we'll wait for this festival to end in 20 seconds. Then I can check the amounts. Good thing I checked it. I thought something was a bit off. Alright, so now we've got the true number. Let's just reinstate these. Now let's check. Alright, so that's why. Now we're making 15 for
We're in
15.
the presence of a virtuoso.
And the petals are just slightly short. Looks like we're short on one farm. She makes milk and herbs as a byproduct. Affects all cattle farms and Sangha farms. That's interesting. Yeah. Milk without electricity and stuff. That's kind of cool. Alright, you're missing one farm. I feel like the ideal thing to do is try to make use of the, you know, the irrigated soil here. I think it would look kind of strange along the side of here, but maybe not. Let me just see. 144. Just go all the way. What are we at now? 18 over 15. That's it then. No, apparently not. We're consuming... maybe I shouldn't do all islands then, because it's probably not giving me quite what I need to know. I really just need to see what's going on this island, don't I? Because this is where all the tea is made, so I don't know what else is consuming petals. Oh, I guess petals might go into certain ingredients in like tourism or restaurants, whatever, so maybe that's why. I still wish this would just tell me where it's used. It tells me where everything's produced, but not where everything's consumed. Even just the island would be nice. Otherwise you have to flick through them all individually. Alright, we'll just copy another one of these then. I think that'll probably be all we need. And yeah, I guess just somewhere out here. Guess we'll put on this, be on this side, I mean. Obviously this place will get a bit of a rework in the future, but it's all irrigated soil here. Not giving it any barns or anything at the moment. I'll have to do a count of how the tractor and the fuel situation is. So let's see. We've got one fuel station on the island. And then we have to look at how many tractor barns are we feeding it. So they're highlighted. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 over on this side. 10. Okay, that's good then. That means we've got room for more. So yeah, let's do it. We're out of steam motors though. Do we have any on this island? Got 40. We could just make a quick grab of those. We'll have to resupply this place soon. That's an issue. Got ships waiting here. This ship is also just idle.
Explosion in one of your factories.
Do you guys want another pier then? Do we have what we need to give you one? Alright, that should free up traffic a bit. We'll come in, grab these steam motors, bring them back, and that should get our tea production correct.
Adjusting for winds.
And because I'll no doubt will forget, we'll just hop over to Lusk really quickly, get a ship to load up with some steam motors and just deliver it down here.
Only are reporting in.
Alright, you two can head to Mbesa, just go to Tabarine, and I'll see you later.
Airborne and ready to go.
Ship be thick. Just gonna take a quick drink.
Sky's
Alrighty.
the limit.
Oh, I didn't expect you there.
The fire has been vanquished.
Alright, so we're up to now 216 in terms of modules. So there's no more space on that side. Okay. Wow, this goes pretty far. I don't think I can actually fit this in properly. Yeah, it's such a mess. I obviously made a major mess of that in the last episode. Where can this go? Nowhere. But that could be enough already. So let me just see. Hibiscus petals. Hibiscus tea. Yeah, so both of these are fine. We just need to actually take them away from here now. So maybe there's no trader doing it. So Old World has hibiscus going. Embasa to the Old World, one ship taking out the hibiscus tea. And it seems to be full. What about at the Old World itself? It's not full in there, is it? It is. So is there no route taking it to... Oh, the petals are going up to... Yeah. So there's no tea being delivered to the Old World. It's to swords. That's the problem. Okay, that's fine. No problem at all. So if we just move back to the Old World real quick. I don't know if anyone else requires hibiscus tea. I guess it's just them. Because I went through all the restaurants and stuff. Some of them require petals, but these might be the only guys that require tea. Tapestry's coming back up now again. Alright. So I wonder, is there any routes that I made where I left a little extra on it? So let's see. It's 8 tons per minute. 8 tons per minute. Anything else with 8 or thereabouts? There's the seafood stew. Bombins. Alright. Let's just see if there's any room on these ships. Exporting stew. Oh yeah, we already left room for the scooter and stuff. Alright, well, we'll just make a new ship, because I don't know. I'll have to kind of go through some of the... If you type swords, for instance, the name of our island, I can go through some of these and then see, like, oh, did I... Because sometimes I leave them. Normally, actually, what I do is I write a question mark. There we go. There's a double question mark here. So, let's see spectacles, and what's the rate of those? 13. Okay. It's definitely overkill to do this, but we'll do it anyway. Actually, it probably makes more sense to do this. Now, if I go spectacles, and I go Old World, we can change this now to say T. Alright, so there's 3,000 up there. Yeah, that's fine. It's interesting that the ship is empty. So 100 delivery with about a 6-minute turnaround time should be totally fine. Alright, cool. So that should be T. Allegedly. I don't know if I need to take more out of the island of Embasa itself. I don't think so, because this place was just backed up. It just wasn't getting delivered from here. There's like 3,000 in this place. Also, we haven't got our grain yet, have we not? He's arriving in 40 seconds. So let's see, what's the last thing then? I think it's going to be tobacco and clay pipes. Hey, there's the rum. Let's check the rum situation now. Now that a bit of time has passed. So our multi-regional second ship, both empty, but we can see there's 400 on this island. On the island of Lusk, I should say, and there's about 100 at Swords, so not much. I kind of think you don't even need to go to Manola, really, right? That's kind of a wasted journey. So let's just take that off the route. And we'll just call this, yeah, Cape to Old World. It's a rum export. They do wait to get that, but they don't have to wait long because it's full anyway. So the only... I'll see if this has an issue later on. Might just check in between episodes, but I think that... Yeah, well, actually, I guess we'll check now. I was going to say, I don't know if they make enough rum in the New World for us to not deliver it there. So let's find out. They do. They make enough to keep the New World happy. So we don't actually need to bring rum from the Old World or the Cape to the New World. If anything, we need to take rum out of there. But that's okay. It's fine. We'll just leave it. It's only 2 tons per minute, or 3. It's fine. Whereas there's like 50 tons in excess anyway, so it's totally okay. All right, hopefully that all makes sense for everyone. I got a comment recently, someone was, I'm sure just joking, but they were like, hey, just wanted to ask you, are you on Adderall? Because you're managing so many different things all at the same time. Hey, no thanks. Hey, we got our advanced weapons upgraded. And no, I'm not. I'm not on any medication. Plus, that's a very American thing, I think. And I'm not American. But I have copious amounts of notes, and I do stuff in between episodes. That's what keeps me focused. So I only need to deliver you 40 minutes to an hour of, like, relative focus, and even then you see me get distracted all the time, so... but kind of a nice mini compliment in a way. Backhanded compliment. Right, so we're in advanced weapons now. So this has gone... The annoying thing is it brings all the goods up, whereas really I want to keep these the same. So this was at about 420, I think, but I'll put it to 430, and we set this to 100. So now we have more of this stuff in reserve than we had before. And they should all have their grain. They're getting through it quickly, though, but they do reserve it. They've reserved 14 already, so that's good. I love seeing on the radar. It's really hard for you guys to see, but just a stream of ships going down to the island down here. Place is so busy. There's our hibiscus and our spectacles being picked up. Alrighty. 11,000 attractiveness.
Narrow collars. Now that's dead.
How you doing on your needs? Totally good. Love to see it. So hibiscus will fill up next, and then it's clay pipes, and then we could say that we're done. So let's do it. Clay pipes. So we're at 7 consumption over 6 production. Production has stalled. I don't think we're delivering tobacco. That's probably why. So there's 5 clay pipe buildings here in our old in-basin industry section.
Tarico hadn't missed that.
They have clay.
Miss asked me to repair.
What's the clay situation in Mbesa, for instance? It's 12 over 10, clay supplier. And we have a ship delivering it, I believe. I think, actually, for a long time, I just had a charter route doing that. But at the moment, we don't have one. So let me just check clay. Yep, we got clay. Cool. Clay gets delivered. Alright, and it says it's enough. Although, will it be enough when we put another one down? Let's find out. So, productivity 30%, 40%, and a chance of fire. So that's because we have this. There we go. Affects the pipe maker, affects the pipe maker, and affects the pipe maker. So this is stuff that is all affecting us. This one maybe not so needed. It just reduces fire chance, which is good. But we have a fire station here anyway, and maybe it'd be better just to squeeze more out of them rather than putting down another building. Let's try it. So what would we need to do? We need to search items that would have something to do with the pipe maker. And I want to look for ones that are more specific. So we have Katima's Industrial Kiln, which is in position already, right? If we click that and we look at item location, we can see it's in there. All production buildings, all production buildings. Not seeing much else then that's going to affect the pipe maker specifically. Just seems to be the other one that we're already making use of. And then this guy. So I guess I already did do this where I used everything that would give me the boost that I wanted. So in that case, then we'll put something else in that just gives us a little boost. Instead of going with ferrous, is there anything that just gives me a little productivity boost? Productivity 25% for getting a fortunate in there. That could be what we need. 25%? No. I don't think so. Did it change? Yeah, because it did say 6, now it says 7. It looks like we'll just need another building then. That's if we put ferrous in there. It still wouldn't be enough. Yeah, so, okay. Another building it is. It's a really weirdly placed trade union. It actually would still be in effect if we put it there, so let's do it. Cool. Alrighty, pipe maker. That's still not enough. I don't understand. How is that not enough? Oh, with the other 25% item from Fortunate, that would be enough, right? It's gotta be. That's 8. So 8 over 7. So that will finally do it. Okay, so let's get the Fortunate. So to do that, we'll head to Cape Trelawney. See what he needs for it.
Bit for you, chunk for me.
Could go with that one, I guess. Let's just see. It's caoutchouc, wood, normal scrap, and chassis. Which he has chassis here, doesn't he?
Together
And he has
for
caoutchouc.
a time.
So I just need logs and then that regular scrap. I can't remember how much it was. I'm just not even going to look back. So I also think it was regular scrap, but it might have been the nice scrap. So let's just get both.
Room coming over.
Alright, we'll just speed up time, let the ship make its way down here, and then once we craft the item, then we'll just send it off to Mbesa. I wonder, actually, would it be quicker to send an airship here? Maybe. There's an airship down this way. But these airships are typically quite fat and slow. But let's just do it. Alright, so we've arrived. Just gonna switch regions to get rid of that music. Okay, please don't play it again.
The crane.
So we wanted caoutchouc and chassis. Then we want to transmute, get the Fortunate, and say thank you. And then I will give it to this guy. And you can go home and deliver everything back.
Cargo boat at the ready.
Now, I've just sent that airship off. It's not even close to getting out of the flippin' map, so we'll just send this ship, obviously, then over to Mbesa. It'll be quicker. Alright, so Mbesa, go to Tabarim, and I'll see you soon. Alright, so once that's in position, we know that that'll be enough to make the clay pipes, but we haven't checked the bottom of that production chain, right? So we have to make sure we're making enough tobacco and shipping it here. So we can just assume that we're already on that 25 because we know we will be. For clay, in order to judge these numbers correctly, we'll just have to give that assumption already, so the 25% that will be here. Now we can look at clay and just stick it in Mbesa and just check that. So it's 12 under 12, slightly under, just like ever so slightly. Now they get clay here and here. Is that it? Oh, and then there as well. It's not really worth setting up a whole thing just to get another bit of clay, especially when clay can just be brought in from the old world, right? So I'll probably just leave it. It's right on the edge. It probably wouldn't be an issue, but I'm going to make a note of this so that in the trade routes in between episodes, I'll probably just set up delivering clay here from like somewhere that has too much. So I've just written that down. They've basically got everything they need. They're just like a half, not even a half ton. It's like a tenth of a ton short per minute, but that might be even just a little too little for the clay pipes to keep up. But anyway, let's check the tobacco situation. This one won't be enough. Yeah, it's 39 under 40. Some of it's made in Marbella, some made in Alicante, Manola, Guadalmina. So it's made from orchards as a byproduct. This is the actual tobacco plantations in Alicante. Marbella and Marbella. Alright, let's go to Alicante then. So these guys have just gotten their fertilizer re-delivered. Which, I don't know if we can check that up here. Yeah, it's just run out. So fertilizer should catch up, but like we said earlier on, it's struggling a little bit. I've also gone ahead and fixed the direction of these farms in between episodes. I finally did it. It was quicker than I thought. I didn't actually have to change the individual modules. It's just once you outline it next to the ones that are facing the right way, eventually it does straighten itself out. So now all the farms are very pretty. Alright, so back to the tobacco. Let's just put down one more of these, should get the job done. And this one will be the weird one, off to the side.
Stand aside, boss.
And that's just rotated itself now as well, but we'll just get rid of that. I don't know why it does it. Someone explained this to me before, and it made sense when I read it, but at the same time I was like, well, I don't think it does work that way. Okay, that's right. So maybe it's based on my orientation and how I start it, or what I started next to, I don't know. This goes all the way up to 288, massive. It's also just turned itself again, so I don't know. Whatever, I'll have to fix that one as well. Alright, cool. So there you go. That should be enough tobacco now globally. So, as per the current trade routes, this already gets delivered to Manola, I think. Yeah, there's 3 ships picking up tobacco because there's just so much of it. 3 seems like too much because a lot of them are empty right now, so maybe it's just... That's really weird. Why are they down there without anything on it? Oh, they're being told to throw stuff overboard. Don't do that. Oh, that's to keep the trade unions running, I think. I'm just a little confused as to why these ships are so empty, having just passed this island. I guess because they collect pretty quickly. So one of these ships doesn't need to be here then. Let's see how that works out. Okay. So, New World to Old World, tobacco is exported via one ship. It's taken, I guess, to Lusk. Lusk has absolutely loads. So then we need to see if there's a route that takes it to Embasa. It looks like Embasa to Old World used to have a ship doing this, but then it's been paused for some reason. Embasa to Old World imports of lots of different things. Okay, I'll just hit play on that and see if that's okay. Because they do need all that, and I haven't actually like sorted out that trade route, so I feel like that might be okay. Like they need glass, and it's going to be picked up, so that seems like a good route to me. But one that could probably be using a better ship. Yeah. Sorry to the ship that was en route with that. If it's still here, we can do it manually. Yeah. You just go out to Embasa and deliver this stuff, please. Alright, all our stuff has arrived, so there's the extra steam motors. It's all good. The ship that was supposed to be delivering the item hasn't arrived yet, has it not?
Cargo boat at the ready.
There it is, he's turning the corner now. Right, good. Timed pretty well. So we'll put that fortunate in, then we can turn off the overwork, and that should be kind of it for clay pipes. Alright, so there you go. There's your 25%. So now they're just going to be waiting on getting tobacco delivered. So we'll just speed up time. And I guess I could check the rate at which they're consuming tobacco here. It's 8 per minute. Okay. So 8 per minute. While I'm speeding up time in the background doing this, let's just check these things. So I'm going to write this down. Grab my little notepad here. So we've got glass, tobacco,
I'm still so excited for us.
specs, and cotton. And I just want to know the amounts that each of these are consumed in Embesa. So we'll toggle on all the islands here. And we'll just type in these things. So we have glass, just regular glass. So that's only 2. Tobacco, 8. Spectacles, 1. And cotton. It's regular cotton that we are... That's interesting that they need this, but we're delivering regular cotton. Okay, so those numbers again are 2, 8, 1, and 2, which means this route is kind of a little awkward. After losing the route already. This one. So glass being at 2 means that this only really needs 1 slot. This probably needs to be tobacco. Yeah, so this is 2 tons per minute consumption, 8 tons per minute consumption, then this is 1, and then this is 2. So that's probably how it's going to go. So they didn't have enough spectacles to pick up.
Has arrived.
I'm just going to hit pause on this route because... Oh, he's still there, actually. Yeah, so just move this over. Oh, no, you're okay. You've done it okay. Oh, no, you haven't. There you go.
We're in the presence of a virtuoso.
So it's glass, tobacco, 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 spectacles, that. Alright, there you go. Done. Very micromanagey, but it's done. Oh, and he's actually arrived in Embasa already. That's quick.
Cargo stations.
And this is the little buddy who brought everything.
Carrier about.
I don't know why it has that above it. By the way, that ship has had that little bug on it for a very long time. But don't know why. It's a special ship, I guess. Maybe I should just sell it. In case the game crashes one day because of it. So, they've delivered in a bunch of stuff. They have their tobacco, they have their clay. They should get cracking on that. And now we just need to see, are we sending clay pipes back? And based to Old World, we're sending Wanza timber and clay pipes from Tabarine to Lusk. And it's got Sanga cow on it right now. Don't know why. Sorry, cows. God, that reminds me of when I threw the Huskies overboard. People still comment about that to this day. So they're picking up Wanza timber and clay pipes, and you got room for more. Exports General 02. That's a good name for it. Alright, so you're back on your route as per usual. Okay, now some people have asked me before, you know, why don't you take things back when you take them forward? Like bring a return journey instead of going back empty-handed. I mean, that would really be the most efficient thing to do. And the way you would do that is look at the consumption rates and make sure that they're even. So if you're delivering something that requires 8 tons per minute, you should bring something back that requires 8 tons per minute. And that way the ship is always evening out, I think, roughly, as long as these things are being consumed correctly. Because otherwise you might get backed up with one thing or another. Also, if the ship ever just gets backed up and you're trying to switch good, you want to throw it overboard. That could be an awful waste. And maybe it's not quite going to where it needs to or something. It's picking up too much or whatever. So you got to have your numbers really perfect, I think, if you want to deliver something and take something else back without any wastage. But it would be ideal. That really would be the ideal. If I was starting a new game, I think I would try to do that early on. But later on in the game, now that we have basically unlimited influence, you just don't really have to worry about that. But if traffic gets so busy on certain piers, then that would definitely lower down the time it takes, like, loading and unloading. Like, I've largely freed up all these piers. They're not too bad now. They kind of use this area primarily because there's so much going on here for loading speed. And a few of my ships that are doing highest volume of goods, I put different items on them. So that's definitely helped as well. All right, so that's clay pipes. Clay pipes goes to Lusk. Does it then eventually go back to... No, so it doesn't. So we have clay pipes going to Lusk, the kind of hub island, but we don't actually have it going to Swords. That's the very final thing to do. So we'll just create a brand new route for this because I can't quite remember if I left in... Oh, actually, my tell on this is if there's a question mark, then there is room on the route for something else. And I think that's a fairly decent way of doing it. So fans are taking up 3 slots. Let's have a look at... It's consumed 14 per minute. And then what's tobacco? Sorry to keep opening and closing this. In swords. It's only 2 per minute. Oh wait, what am I... I'm losing my mind. Sorry, clay pipes. Yeah. I was like, this isn't right. 4. It's only 4 per minute. So 1 slot will be enough for that. And it's just for the scholars, right? No one else is consuming it, so I don't think it has to go to any other island. I'll just double check on that, but... Alright, and we'll leave a question mark to tell me that there's room for more in the future. So, just to doubly check, your lifestyle, you don't need clay pipes. No, but that perfume is still having issues. Don't really understand why that is. What about artisans? Do they smoke?
Warm sun floods the meadow.
I would have thought they did. But nope, I guess not. Alright, cool. So if that's the case, then it's just going to be a matter of time before they get their thing. Let's just check for the last thing to do. What's going on with perfume? So if we go here, consume perfume. And then we go production over time. So our green line, let's just untoggle certain things real quick. So this is our line. So something fluctuated, but in the last 52 minutes, and we haven't visibly seen it fluctuate. So this is every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes we've been making 26 perfumes, no problem. And that was because we sorted out the coconut oil, right? So if we just check the island of Manola, coconut oil should be okay now here.
What can I do for you?
So many orchards. There we go. Yeah, there's 600 now, so it's obviously piling up nicely, which means that the perfume buildings haven't gone offline. Sometimes they can dip and come back up, and statistics don't really show that because it's like at 10-minute intervals. It checks it. It checks the building, like, oh, are you still at 100%? And then if it falls a minute later, it falls down to 50, and then it comes back up, and another minute later, it's not showing you that. It's a little obfuscated.
Behold the beating heart of change.
But it looks good. If we have good resources here, here, and here, which we do, I think we're okay. Let's check coconut oil. It's just dropped by about 300 immediately. Delivery of coconut oil. There's 1,200 coconut oil on this island of Marbella, but I don't think we actually make any there. No, it just happens to be some there from old things. Very last thing then is just want to make sure that we're not sending it away when we shouldn't be. So set a reserve. That could be another issue. So don't take it away until we're at 500, please. Honestly, the same goes for everything, really. That'll cause a little bit of a hiccup in production, but it'll be worth it. Because these things are all used here. Citrus is building up really nicely though now.
No more space here.
In fact, it's building up massively since we modified that route at the very beginning of the episode. So there we go. That's actually full though, that route, that place. Now they're probably going to go there after they grab from Marbella. So the 2 ships are en route to Marbella right now. And there's 600 in storage. So once they grab that, they're going to go back up here and then they're going to go grab this. But yeah, it seems like they're not visiting it quickly enough. So maybe it just needs a 3rd ship. I'll have a look in between episodes, but yeah. Maybe I'll just simplify it and add more ships to the route. Instead of trying to be cheeky and visit islands at different rates.
Aye.
It's a busy place, man. Everyone's busy.
Cargo boat at the ready.
Alright, I'm just speeding through time because I'm hoping that we can actually see the payoff of these clay pipes. But it might take a while.
Everywhere.
But they're getting good. Oh no, canned food. What's wrong? Oh, canned food comes in through Docklands, which shouldn't be an issue. Maybe it's just slightly not enough. We could just bring it up a bit, I guess, for a while. Because I do have the advanced weapons to do it. That would definitely make sure that we have enough. So what does this need? It needs 2,500 to get to the next export volume. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not too worried about that. I think it's just a delay in trade or whatever. We definitely make enough. It's probably just like a little trade hiccup. And then lifestyle. So yeah, scooters will be the next thing. Scooters, and then I'll look at these reports, if we can do them through mail. So just to show it really quickly here, I guess... it's not an item, sorry, it's just regular production. Let's type in reports. New World reports. Oh, that's why I was looking at items. Because you do need to see the... There it is. That's what we need. New World Science Reporter. A highly respected scientific authority. So it affects all New World post offices. So you got to put it in a town hall in the New World with post boxes or post offices in range of that town hall. And then she'll generate the New World Science reports that get sent back. God, that's awkward. And then it gets even more awkward when you got to do that for the Arctic lodges. So Arctic reports. So goes into an Arctic lodge. This isn't actually so bad in some way because in the Arctic, I don't know if it'll count for much, but I've got a... Oh yeah, we do actually build up the workforce here. 15% Arctic flu chance reduced. I don't necessarily need that anymore because we have more technicians now thanks to delivering the different things that they have.
An explosion in
Or I could just remove the flu chance thing. Residents provide bonus income. These needs require less goods or proximity to be fulfilled. So you need less parkas. Because they have their heated jacket. What I was going to say is you could put them in here. I've got empty slots in the Arctic lodges that are getting gas. Because if you had another one, yeah, it's just you can't obviously... Okay, well, in that case then I'll probably just look to do something like here. Probably make more sense here anyway. Now, what's the deal though? How do the airships... Do they need an airship platform, or will they just pick up New World reports from a regular good? I'm not sure about that. I'll have to look into this. Huge population here that's not needed as well, by the way. We could just like easily get rid of so many of these houses, which would reduce all the volume and needs we need overall. I'd like to do that. Like in the Arctic, my goal is to deliver like everything they need, but then reduce their populations down to like, so their workforce is at like 0, pretty much, save for a little bit of Arctic flu or whatever as a buffer. Just because it's like, why would you try to sustain a high population in the Arctic? There's just no need.
You reach the limits of the possible.
Come on, clay pipes. I don't think I can wait much longer, guys. We're running way over. Yeah, it still hasn't arrived yet. And so base it to Old World clay pipes. They're bringing back 16, though. We're making some, at least. So that's something. But yeah, it'll have to be until the next episode till we see that. Let's, just one last thing then is just put this on a reserve. Oh, it is on a reserve, so we've already made 100. Yeah, let's just raise that. I don't mind. Bit of a safety net. Alright, cool. Workforce here seems to be pretty good. These guys seem to be happy. They have their tobacco. They're making their pipes. All good. Alright guys, that's going to have to be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. The next episode we continue working down the chains. Keeping going with the scholars. After the scholars, I think probably the technicians in the Arctic, which shouldn't be too difficult. We've got things like dynamite to give them and rum, so that's easy because we make it already. And then for the explorers, we actually give them everything. Maybe it's fluctuating a little bit, so we could just go do a once over on these routes and make sure everything's good. But they shouldn't be too challenging to do. What I'd like to do though is run another soccer stadium thing, get another Arctic lodge, and boost our gas production, just because it's always been like really on the edge and quite low, which makes just feeding this place with gas tricky, because we do make enough, but it takes a very long time for it to get here. And then if the thing explodes, it means that power dies in Crown Farms just for like a little while, and then it comes back online, so it just fluctuates too much. We ultimately just need a little bit more Arctic gas than we make, because it's 8 for 8. So yeah. Alright guys, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.